chapter 7, verse number 9. Punyo gandha prithivyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Translation: I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat in fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penances of all ascetics. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Punya means that which is not decomposed. Punya is original. Everything in the material world has a certain flavor or fragrance, as the flavor and fragrance in a flower, or in the earth, in water, in fire, in air, etc. The uncontaminated flavor, the original flavor which permeates everything, is Krishna. Similarly, everything has a particular original taste. And this taste can be changed by the mixture of chemicals. So everything original has some smell, some fragrance, and some taste. Vibhava means fire. Without fire, we cannot run factories, we cannot cook, etc. And that fire is Krishna. The heat in the fire is Krishna. According to Vedic medicine, indigestion is due to a low temperature in the belly. So even for digestion, fire is needed. In Krishna consciousness, we become aware that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle, all chemicals and all material elements are due to Krishna. The duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So, Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Mande Shri Gurum Dina Taranam. So, few days back, I was traveling from Chennai to Hyderabad. So, somehow I had to, my schedule was such that I was forced to take a flight. So, in the airport, after the security check and all that, we have a little time before the boarding starts. So, I was seeing in the waiting area, there are a lot of shops. There was one book shop. There are some shops selling different items for food. And some were selling some purses. Some were selling some different kinds of things. All kinds of things, different shops. One of them caught my attention. It was said, make your own perfume. So, normally, what I have seen is all, they will sell ready-made stuff. So here it said, make your own perfume. And I was seeing one gentleman was standing there at the counter, and he was speaking to the salesperson who was there. Shri Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama Ki Jai. So, appears like they had kept lot of these chemicals, and looks like they're, I don't know, maybe if any of you have ever bought any fragrances from them, you'll know. They mix different chemicals and make a perfume of your choice, of the fragrance of your choice. Looks like that. And normally you go to the airports and all, there are a lot of glamour and shine and all that. So anyway, I had no this one there. I was just seeing what this was. And when I was seeing this, I remembered in Vrindavan, we have these Vrindavan native roses. They are of two kinds. One is the red color, one is the light pink color. And when for the first time in Vrindavan, when I smelt these roses there, I was simply spellbound by the fragrance. What beautiful fragrance. Normally, I have grown up all my life in Bangalore. In Bangalore, there used to be always only hybrid roses. And hybrid roses, practically no fragrance, no smell. So first time, small rose, not big. These hybrid ones are, they look very nice, big and all that. But this is only two colors, very small, but the fragrance is completely mind-blowing. And almost all the temples in Vrindavan, they use this native roses only. So these roses, in Vrindavan, we have a big campus. So we created one rose garden where only these roses were there. And there was a Mali. Every day he will put water, he'll put some cow dung manure. And if you put nice cow dung, nice manure, then these roses come in winter. The colder the winter, the more the number of roses the plant will produce, and beautiful fragrance. And during summer season, we used to get these kadambas. Have you seen kadambas? They look like tennis balls. And amazing fragrance again. So there are two types of kadams. One is Braj kadam, one is Bengali kadam. So we had both kinds in our campus, and kadam grows into a big tree. So all along the boundary wall, we had put all the kadamba trees. So during summers, we used to get these fragrant kadamba flowers. Winter, it used to be roses. So you see, it's such a wonderful thing, Krishna's arrangement. The earth is the same soil. One is a rose plant, another is a kadamba tree. And the flowers you take from both of them, they will totally different fragrance. The same soil, the same water, the same manure, both of them, both the different types of plants, they give different kinds of flowers with different fragrances. Now, this make my perfume, he has kept so many chemicals, right? Suppose you go to him and tell him, I want a fragrance of Vrindavan, that native rose. So I brought some cow dung, some earth from there, and some water. Please mix this and give me that fragrance. Can you give? Not possible. So you see Krishna's arrangement. Just take some cow dung, take some earth, and take some water. From that, he is producing varieties of fragrances. There are other flowers also. Juhi, jasmine, these kind of flowers, night queen, these kind of flowers, nagachampa, these kind of flowers also grow in Vrindavan. Each of them has its own unique fragrance. It is true, even here in Chennai also. If you in Bangalore, if you go, there is one Sampige street in Malleshwaram. So there, the whole street is lined with Sampige trees. And Sampige flowers, what fragrance! Incredible fragrance. Again, coming from the same earth, same water, same cow dung or whatever manure you put, you will get such wonderful fragrances. So, the same ingredients, the same earth, same cow dung, same manure, same water, you take and give it to a scientist and tell him, extract this kind of fragrance for me and give. Will he be able to give? He cannot give. But you see, Krishna's arrangement is such that from the same things he produces wonderful varieties of fragrances. This is the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the real fragrance is not from the soil. Fragrance is not from the cow dung. It is not from the water. It is not from the plant. Then where is it coming from? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mayadhikshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. Externally, normally we don't question these things. One rose plant is there, rose flower is coming, we take it and we enjoy the fragrance. We don't question. How come the same soil, the same conditions, the same place, you take a kadamba flower, you take a rose flower, you take a jasmine, you take a sampige or a champa, all of them, each of them has a different flavor, different fragrance. Each of them smells different. Normally we take it for granted. This is champa flower is like this, rose flower is like this, kadamba flower is like this. We don't think. But when we approach the shelter of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada beautifully brings out these things. Sometimes people say that God is everywhere. Why do you have to go to the temple? Isn't it? God is everywhere. Why you have to go to the temple? Why do you need to build temples? Why do you go to temples and you want to put some donation there and all that? You help some needy person, that's more than enough. Yes, God is there everywhere, but do you have the eyes to see? You cannot see your own self. Where is the question of seeing God? Therefore, God descends in a form in a particular place. Although God is there everywhere, so if God is everywhere by your own logic, is God not in the temple? If God is everywhere, God must be in the temple also. So God comes in a form, specifically He manifests His presence in a temple so that we people who don't have the eyes to see Him, neither we can see ourselves, nor we can see God. We can go to the temple, we can come, see Krishna, and we can see the form of God. So this is God's grace upon us. It is His kripa. Because He wants to give us an opportunity, although we are not qualified to see Him, but still the Lord appears in a way which we can see and appreciate. So that Supreme Lord who comes in a form which we can all see, He is called Archa Vigraha. It is not some statue in the shop. So in the temple when you come, there is a difference between the Lord in the, you can go to some any handicraft showroom. They will have one statue of Krishna, one statue of Vishnu, one statue of Narasimha, all of that. Many people will come, they will walk, they will see, they'll pick up whatever they want, pay the money and take and go. But the same statue, if it is in a temple, when we come, what do? First thing we do is we offer obeisances. So the deity in the temple is an Archa Vigraha. It is not simply a statue. Because although it is a statue originally, God has descended into that deity through the process of prana pratishtha, by which He manifests His presence there. So when we see Krishna standing in the temple, it is not like a statue in the showroom. It is Krishna Himself who is standing here. So that Supreme Lord Krishna, He is present everywhere. Now how to see Him everywhere? That He is describing in the Bhagavad Gita. You see, we have smelt so many different kinds of flowers so many times. We would have smelt different kinds of fragrances, mixing various chemicals, go to make my perfume, mix some chemicals, get a fragrance of our liking. We might have done all these things, but it never strikes us that what is the source of the fragrance. Same earth, same water, same manure, how different plants are giving different fragrances. So when we approach a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, being a pure devotee, he is seeing Krishna constantly. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So, Pure devotees like Prabhupada are constantly seeing Krishna everywhere. In every atom, in every form, they are able to see Krishna, they are able to appreciate Him. So therefore, when we approach and take shelter of a pure devotee like Prabhupada, then what happens? They open our eyes. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. They light the lamp of knowledge in our heart. And we are able to see, oh, this is how Krishna is there everywhere. When we look at the different flowers, different fragrances we see coming from the same source. Oh, this is because it is coming from Krishna. Krishna has willed. In a rose, this kind of fragrance should come. In a kadamba, this kind of fragrance should come. Champa, this kind of fragrance should come. In a jasmine, this kind of fragrance should come. And therefore, in that flower, you find that fragrance. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Krishna says, Prakriti, material nature, is working under his direction. Externally to our ears, to our eyes, when we look at material nature, we cannot make out. It appears as if material nature is working automatically. Automatically, you put water and manure, automatically the seed will germinate and the plant will come and flower will come. It appears automatic. But if you apply a little common sense, although it appears automatic, how is it possible? If it is automatic, then every tree, every plant, whatever flower comes, it all should have the same fragrance because the source is the same. You take, when you go to make my perfume, you take a few set of chemicals and mix them. Any number of times you mix them, wherever you mix them, whether you mix them in Bangalore or Hyderabad or wherever you mix them, you'll get the same fragrance, right? It's not going to change. But you see, the Lord's arrangement, the same earth, different plants give different fragrances. So, a pure devotee like Prabhupada, when he sees different plants are giving different fragrances because this is not an automatic thing. Prakriti by itself doesn't have the ability to produce that fragrance. If Prakriti, material nature, had that ability to produce the fragrance, you take the same earth, same cow dung, same water, only 3 ingredients, take it to the lab, give it to the scientist, and tell him produce all the different fragrances from that. The fragrance of the jasmine, fragrance of the rose, fragrance of the kadamba, produce all that? No, not possible. So how, when a tree or a plant grows, how it is able to produce? That is because Prakriti suyate sacharacharam mayadhikshena. Krishna says, material nature is working under his supervision. Krishna has willed this kind of fragrance has to come in this kind of flower, in this kind of plant. Therefore, it is producing that kind of fragrance. Although the ingredients are the same. So therefore, Krishna is telling here, Punyo gandaha prithivyam. I am the original fragrance of the earth. That unadulterated original fragrance of the earth, from which different kinds of fragrances can be extracted by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord. When different kinds of flowers, when different kinds of plants produce different kinds of flowers, that is Krishna's arrangement. Punyo gandaha prativyam tejas chasmi vibhavasu. And fire, the heat in the fire. Where is the, we all normally when we look at a fire, we immediately know, oh, it will be hot. None of us, if there is a fire is burning, none of us will go and put our hand in that. Why? Because we all know it will burn. Foolish thing to go and put our hand in a burning fire, isn't it? So, you see, but where did fire get that property to heat? That we don't question. Even science doesn't question. Science blindly accepts this is the way it is. Fire means it will produce heat. Why? Where does fire get that heat from? That Krishna is saying, Tejas chasmi vibhavasu, that Krishna gives the heat in fire. And Jivanam sarvabhuteshu. We all have a life, we all have an existence. How did we come to exist? How are we existing? For anything to exist, there has to be some basis, right? If you look at if you plant if you sow a seed, a plant will come, and then you have to water it. There has to be soil, the conditions, the weather, everything has to be favorable, then only the plant will grow, otherwise it will die. But we are all existing, no? We are all existing, we are all surviving. So what is the basis for our existence? That Krishna is saying, Jivanam sarvabhuteshu. Krishna is the life of all that lives. Tapaschasmi tapasvishu. And Krishna is the penance of all ascetics. Recently we had a Kumbh Mela in January this year, isn't it? You would have seen so many sadhus. They are all ascetics, doing different kinds of tapasyas. So, human being has an ability to perform tapasya, to undertake austerity. This ability is there, no, in human beings. Different people have to different degrees. We may have one level of austerity taking capability. Those sadhus coming from Himalayas, they may have very high ability to undertake austerities. But ultimately, innately, all of us have some ability to undertake austerity. Where is that ability to undertake austerity coming from in us? Krishna is saying, Tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Krishna is the penance of all ascetics. So, in these verses, verse 8 through 12, Krishna is actually explaining how we can see Krishna spread everywhere. He is present everywhere. When we say God is everywhere, how do we see Him? This is how we see how Krishna or God is spread everywhere. We see that He is the source of everything. He is the basis for any quality to exist. The quality of the fire to give heat. The quality of earth to give different kinds of fragrances to different kinds of plants and flowers. The quality of the living entities to exist. The quality of an ascetic to undertake austerity. All these qualities are coming originally sourced from Krishna. If Krishna did not have these qualities, if He did not give us these qualities, we could not possess this. We could not be alive, we wouldn't be existing, the earth couldn't produce any kind of fragrant flowers, the fire would not have given out any heat, no human being could have undertaken any austerity. None of these things would have been possible. All these things are possible because Krishna has willed it. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam. Externally it appears everything is happening automatically. But that's not so. When we look at the sky, we see an aeroplane flying. So when we see an aeroplane flying from the ground, when we look at it, it appears to be flying automatically. What is there? It's flying. But after the Ahmedabad plane crash, a lot of you would have understood what is slats, what is the wing, what is, so many terminologies they are describing. Many of you, if you have been watching those videos, most of you would have become aeronautical engineers by now. So you see, the pilot's console, so many things he has to control, that undercarriage has to be retracted, the flats have to be brought out, so many things like this. There is a pilot sitting in that aircraft and controlling all these things, therefore that aeroplane is flying. A foolish person, an ignorant person, an uneducated person, illiterate person, when he looks at the aircraft, what does he think? Automatically it is flying. Automatically nothing happens without intervention of a living person. Similarly, in the material world also, if flowers are producing if plants are producing fragrant flowers, if fire is producing heat, if a human being, if an ascetic is able to undertake penances, and if we are all living entities are able to exist, it's all because behind all of them, Krishna is there. Krishna's will is there. When we say Krishna is there behind all this, it is not that he is struggling, pumping some fragrance into the earth and ensuring that it goes to the rose flower, and while he is pumping one rose fragrance here, by mistake he pumped the same fragrance into the kadamba flower. No, withdraw it, put another this. No. He is not literally holding and doing things like that. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is omnipotent. He is supremely powerful. That's the meaning of God being omnipotent. Meaning, Krishna simply wills. Let it be like this. Let the rose flower be like this. Let the fire have this quality. Let the ascetic have this ability to undertake penance. Simply by his willing, everything gets carried out. So this is stated in the Upanishads, that the Supreme Lord has innumerable energies. And all of his energies, Jnana Bala Kriyacha, all the energies of Krishna are giving him all knowledge, all ability and all strength automatically. They, according to Krishna's will, all these things are supplied to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we see material nature exhibiting wonderful characteristics, we should not get carried away. We should understand behind that Maya Dhikshena Prakriti Suyataya Sacharacharam, behind that wonderful working of the material nature is the will of Krishna. Without that will of Krishna, material nature cannot act. So this vision is what Krishna is giving in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita, in this particular verse. And therefore Krishna is saying, I am the original fragrance of the earth, I am the heat in fire, I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penance of all ascetics. Punyo gandaha prativyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasu jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Krishna is the ultimate source of everything. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the point being made in this verse. So we'll stop here. Srimad-Bhagavad-Gita ki jai, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.